So, one of the things a lot of people tend to do when they're trying to make their dashboard look fancier is they add increasingly complex visuals. I am a big fan of complex visuals. However, what I find tends to make a dashboard extra special, so to say, is just the little things. And what I'm about to show you right now is just a little thing, but it's one of those things that tends to kind of add magic and make things just look a little bit more polished. And it's right here. And it's this little button right here, or a button like it. And when you hover over it, you'll notice it glows. And then when you click it, there's an on click interaction. Hi, my name's Ned. This is my dog, Jai. And today I'm going to be showing you how to make that button. But first, before we get started, if you like content like this, please consider subscribing and liking this video. All right, so let's jump in and let's take a look at this button. Because well, creating something like this is just a little bit more work. It's not so much more work that it's unreasonable. And I think you'll find that even though it looks really fancy, it's pretty straightforward and something that you can implement in projects of your own. So here is this button. And as you can see, this button has a on hover interaction. Now, this on hover interaction is just being driven by, if we select this right here, and then we go to the button style, by changing the icon to an animated icon on hover. Then on press, it changes to a non-animated icon of a different color. And then its default is just kind of a standard non-animated icon. So what happens when you're hovering is it's switching to an animated SVG. Then when you click, it's switching to a different color SVG. And all three of these images combined are what's building out this really cool interaction. Now, quite a few people don't know where to get images to use in their Power BI reports. I really like using or Microsoft's Fluent UI and then Google's Material UI for icons. I think they're really well done, and Google's in particular has a searchable database. And if you're looking for ones that are already been made into SVG image URLs, I'll link a video down below to a video that I did where I basically took a ton of icons and made them all image URLs and put them in a single PBIX file. But Google's icons are really cool because they are completely searchable. So you can navigate to this website, fonts.google.com/icons, and then you can search for the icons. So in this case, I went ahead and I searched for help, and there's a ton of different help icons. If, for example, I search for husky, right? They might not have anything, but I could search for wolf. No, maybe dog. All right, so here's their dog icons. Now, once you have one of these icons, you can switch it between filled or non-filled, change the weight, the size. You can go through the category, but you can select one and then you can go ahead and you can download it as an SVG. Now, once you have it as an SVG, what I like to do is I like to open it up in an editor like VS Code. This allows me to do things like change the color or edit the view box. Now, I am by no means an SVG image expert, but well, generative AI tools are. I really like to use Gemini because you can interact and it'll both show you a preview and then the code itself, and you can switch in between the two. So you can prompt until you get the animation or the interaction that you want with the SVG. Now, once you have this interaction, I would prompt you to prompt the AI bot to have it basically take a path and then a fill color and call these out like they're variables. Once you have that, you can then go into VS Code, for example, and you can take our SVG that Google provided and you can change the core color here, right? But then you can take the path and you can paste the path over, right? So here is the path for that help icon that now has been pasted over into this code that Gemini produced. And here you can see I changed the color. I'll link the code that's doing this fun, shiny thing on my GitHub down in the video description so you can go download it and you can change out the icon. But this code is programmed to a 960 view box, which is perfect for icons downloaded off of Google's website. So the other thing that you need to kind of think of is what color you choose when you're going from the color the button is normally to when it's clicked. In the demo that I did for this video, if you notice, I'm going from a dark blue to a dark red. Now, these are contrasting colors. The easiest way to find contrasting colors is to go to a color generator like this website right here, and you can just Google, there's a ton of them, hitting start the generator, and then choosing colors that are direct opposites. Then you just simply have to go into VS Code. So go back into the non-animated GIF, right? And change the color right here, especially if you're using one of Google's icons, which then you just simply have to save off as an on-click interaction. So if you've been following along with this video, you now have three files. You have a file with a flashy animation, you have a file that's just a normal file, and then you have the contrasting file. All you need to do is go into the button editor over here and set those interactions just like I did on in earlier in the video. So you need to set your default, your hover, and then your on click. So right here, right, I set my default, my hover, and then, well, actually, I keep on calling it on click, but it's on press. If you need help resizing your icon, you can play with this. I always like to go left and then vertical alignment, and then I set my image fit to normal and my icon placement to custom, and I play with the padding and the icon size until I get it exactly in the right spot. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty straightforward, and I would try to get that sizing. Just a quick tip: I would try to get that sizing and get the button positioned where you want it first, right, with the on default, and then go through and set the others. But once you have that, you're pretty much good to go. Now, the other thing that you just need to remember to do, which I think you had seen that maybe I hadn't done in the beginning of this video, if you're super observant, is just set a tooltip so it says click for help. And there you go. You have a really, really fancy button. Now, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope, something like this makes you as happy as it does me. This is one of those things that I just find it super, super fun. But if you did enjoy the video, please consider subscribing and giving it a like. I'm currently working on my way to 5,000 subscribers, which is kind of the next big goal that I have for this channel. And so I'd love to have you join me and help me hit that milestone. All right. And with that, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Talk to you later.